On today's show, we'll be talking about how to lose weight, the best ways on how to lose weight. And I have on the show my guests for today, Ricardo Brooks and Elizabeth Brooks. So we're talking about losing weight. So tell us a little bit about just the whole obesity epidemic that we're in right now. You know, that's a big issue in America and the world at large. People are getting fat, overweight.
It's really a tragedy, and it's such a huge health epidemic right now. 2/3 of Americans are overweight and obese, and now, you know, and it's really no surprise that that those numbers have started to now move into the population of children now. Now we have a huge epidemic of childhood obesity, and now, you know, they're starting to see more of that in Europe as well as in Canada. You know, we don't have the kinds of lives that we used to live, and our bodies are literally made and created for us to work. You know, we burn calories from the minute we wake up to the minute we go to sleep. We burn calories all night. Our bodies are designed to work. But most of us don't have physical, particularly in the United States, most of us don't have manual labor jobs. And so if you're not doing a lot of physical manual labor and you're sitting at a desk for, 2/3 of your day, you're going to have to get that physical activity from somewhere. And then your eating has to also, go right along with that. So, it's very important that people, just see their lives, just take a little picture of their life and look at it and examine it. We don't get physical activity. I mean, one of the things that fascinates me is, through technology, we have so many amazing conveniences. We love that, we have the telephone, we have all these things, we have buses, escalators, all of those things where you used to walk 10 miles. Now you just ride the bus 10 miles or you drive your car 10 miles. You don't even have to, walk home with your own grocery bags anymore. Everything has become mechanized, and there's so much technology and so many services that we have. We're really spoiled, aren't we? So it is so important that we set aside that time to take care of the bodies that we have, to exercise. That physical exercise is crucially important.
But I feel like it's a lot easier said than done. Because even me, I'm in the health promotion field, and sometimes you just find that you don't have time to exercise, you don't have time to eat healthy. Right. When you're eating on the run, the quickest thing to grab is a McDonald's, even though you know it's bad for you. So how can people eat healthy on this busy schedule?
It has to do with, first of all, planning and priorities. You have to start prioritizing your health. And one of the things that I like giving examples because I think it's really important that we make this connection. We have a friend that we have, and she had a husband, and he was 49 years old, and he died of cardiovascular disease. And the idea of dying at 49 of cardiovascular disease, just the hardening of your arteries, the clogging of the arteries, purely because, and that's something that's completely preventable through regular exercise. And it's not just that he died at such an early age, but to leave your children and your wife there, and now you're gone. So one of the main reasons why we should exercise should be so that we can continue to care for our families, continue to be vital and energetic, and give as much as we possibly can to our families. So when if you think of your life and prioritize your life like, okay, I can give myself at least 30 minutes to an hour every day. I mean, yes, the job needs me, but my family needs me more. If I don't take care of myself and something happens to me, an injury, an illness, those things can incapacitate me in such a way that my home will be so negatively affected. But the job, honestly, they might get somebody else in there to replace you, so they're not going, But so we have to take time to start thinking about the order in which things should happen. Family first. Take care of, myself, and taking care of my body is just an extension of taking care of my family. And so if I do that, that's one way that I show love toward my family. And so I hear what you're saying. I hear people say that the whole thing all the time about time. I don't have time. But if you think about someone like that who was 49, and how many times he may have said he didn't have time. and now he's gone. You know, it's just so crucially
and now he really
important.
Doesn't have time.
Now he's really right, and now his family has to do this whole U-turn to make up for everything that they have just lost. It's so painful when it just takes 30 minutes a day to an hour a day to just care for the body that you have, so that so yes, eating is crucially important, and I think that planning, I was saying that, you know, planning is the other part of that. It is really important that we plan. If you don't go to the grocery store, you know, you're pretty much left out there. And if anything, you know, and once you become hungry, anything is play. You know, the donuts, you know, the candy. And, you know, it really becomes like that. And so we do need to plan and to have meals and take lunches with us, have little snacks, keep our water on our desk, you know, little things you can do.
Let me ask you if you would talk a little bit about some specifics of what people can do in order to lose weight.
And so if you go back and just think a moment about balance, one of the things, you know, about balancing your exercise program and your nutrition and all of that into the framework of your day, one of the things that I always like to encourage my clients to do is to exercise in the morning. It is a great way, first of all, to just get going into your day. And you get your exercise out of the way. Right. It comes before everything else, and you've gotten it out of the way, no matter how much time you made a decision to dedicate to it, you know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, an hour. Try to work out first thing in the morning. The other thing that's beneficial about that, about working out first thing in the morning, is that it causes your metabolism to work harder all day long. So in fact, your body burns more calories all day long if you work out in the morning than it would if you, for example, worked out after work. You know, yes, you have that spike and you have that peak toward the end of the day, but then your metabolism is just constantly dropping, getting ready for, you know, bedtime. So working out first thing in the morning is very, very important. Another tip that I would give in terms of just staying fit and staying in shape is, you know, start small and, you know, stay within your range of activity. So this is really important. You know, everybody's not a runner. Right. Everybody is not a power walker. There's so much variation in exercise. You could do biking. You could do, you know, exercise videos in your very own home, which is a great alternative for people. And we like to, you know, encourage people to use our videos and other videos that they can get their hands on, particularly during the winter months when, you know, our activity level tends to really die down. We go into hibernation stage. So,
and the food supply becomes plentiful.
The food supply becomes, you know, we keep the house nice and stacked up with, you know, our chips here and our stuffing and all those comfort foods. And so, you know, making absolutely sure that you leave a certain amount of time first thing in the morning to exercise, making absolutely sure that you know, just get in that quality exercise time is really important. Then, as far as your eating is concerned, making sure that you're eating small meals all day long. One of the biggest problems that people have is that most Americans only eat 1 or 2 meals a day. And a big fallacy that's out there is that most people think that people who are overweight and obese are overweight and obese because they're constantly eating all the time. You hear those words thrown around constantly about overeating. What ends up happening is they only have 2 meals during the day, and in those 2 meals they eat a lot of food. But what we all should do is have 5 to 6 small meals during the day. You have a nice breakfast every day. You have breakfast. And many people who, and there are all these statistics out there about people who have been overweight and obese who just start eating breakfast and start incorporating walking, and you know, just how dramatic that changes their whole body composition and their overall health picture. So, you know, just making sure you're eating those 5 meals a day. You want breakfast, you want a little snack mid-morning. It doesn't have to be big. It could be an apple, a yogurt, something like that. And then that nice lunch, you know, which would be your most comprehensive meal during the day. Lunch, in fact, should be your largest meal of the day, not dinner. When your metabolism is dropping, you should be eating the smallest meal then. And then that mid-afternoon snack, when a lot of people get very hungry in the mid-afternoon, but then that's when we grab junk a lot. You know, looking for things like, you know, wholesome nuts and, you know, and good things that you can eat during those times. Fruit is great. And then, of course, at dinner, a nice salad with some kind of protein. And making sure that there's a balance there in your diet. And it's really not that difficult if you go if you go shopping, you know.
If you plan
it's hard if you plan right.
Can you break the time up just for people can just get an idea, like from what time to what time you can breakfast and then snack and then dinner?
So I think most people, you know, if you're like a 6 a.m. riser and you're going to have breakfast, let's say around 7 a.m., then around 10 o'clock, so you know your breakfast might be an omelet and, you know, apples sliced up, or it could be oatmeal, a bowl of cereal. It doesn't have to be a huge.
Bacon, right?
It could be bacon. Right. You have to make sure you mash out all the grease and oil. But what you want to do is make sure that, you know, you have as little saturated fat, and that's what happens when you're getting things like bacon. Is you're getting a lot of saturated fat. You might, you know, an alternative might be turkey bacon or. You know, some other kind of lean turkey link sausage, something leaner. Eggs are a very good protein source. And so those are good things to have for breakfast in the morning, let's say 7 a.m. And then a snack would be around 10 o'clock. That's when you'd have maybe a handful of raisins and some nuts, or you might have a little cup of yogurt, you know, at that time. And then in that lunchtime period between that 12 and 1 o'clock time, that's when you have your, you know, your salmon. And your broccoli, and you know, and your rice,
Sounds
or
good, isn't it?
you have a nice, right, or you have a nice burrito, you know, without the cheese if you can help it, and really be good, you know, something like that, and have a nice. Make sure you're having a vegetable as well as those carbohydrates and the protein. You know, you want to see a well balanced meal, and then in the afternoon, you know, again, you can have small nuts and something like that, and then also, and then at dinner time, again, a salad and just a light fish or protein. That's pretty comprehensive.
So dinner should be like what, before? Most people say before 7 on.
Oh, you should definitely eat. Whatever time you eat, it should be 3 hours before bedtime. Give your body plenty of time to digest the food. Yeah.
And as far as exercise, most people recommend between 20 and 30 minutes a day.
Yes. And that's particularly for people who are not exercising now. So if you're exercising now, 20 minutes is probably not going to do it for your body. Will not burn enough calories for you. You've already your body's already gotten used to it. But if you're a beginning exerciser, look at those 20, 30-minute time slots. You can even do 10-minute segments during the day. Get in as much as you possibly can.
So I think it's also important, too, to mention that a lot of people focus on one type of exercise. Exercise is not something that should... there's something that you don't have fun with. You can have fun. Exercise could be doing some things that you like to do, hiking. Doesn't have to be formal in a gym all the time.
But just in a nutshell, just quickly wrap it up for us. Tell us the best quick ways to lose weight in a nutshell.
The best ways to lose weight? The best way to lose weight is to just be consistent. Eat right, exercise daily.